So my name is Aidan and I am a professional chef, and I run a social and private dining concept called 1198 based in the borough of Hackney. Decided I wanted to be one when I was 8 years old, which I kind of told my parents for the first time, and obviously they didn't believe me at that stage. So I'm Hackney born and raised, which is something that I'm very, very proud of, and it's something that's kind of fundamentally important to what 1198 is as a concept. So the dining room of my home, Stoke Newington, has a lovely dining space, and I have a big 12-seater communal dining table. Every week this kind of beautiful, spontaneous magic happens, really. People from different backgrounds and different walks of life, from different countries, get the chance to sit around this communal table and experience this menu together. When I first started with the chef's table concept, which is coming up to 5 years ago now, the first couple of times obviously naturally did feel really quite weird. A couple of times I thought, this is weird, there's just a bunch of strangers sat in my living room. How weird is this? But it's something that I kind of very quickly kind of got used to. I've always been a natural host. Even when I was a kid, the friends would come around to my house after school to play computer games and to have snacks and whatnot. It's always been something that's come really naturally to me. Core values or principle is the fact that everything that I use on the menus has to be sourced from within the borough of Hackney, and every single fruit, vegetable and herb that I use on the menu must have physically grown in the borough, and that's kind of the golden rule of the way that I cook. And so I've got a small allotment where I grow a lot of the produce myself. I do lots and lots of foraging around the borough as well. So during the springtime it'll be kind of flower blossoms for making cordials and infusions, and then during the summer and autumn it'll be tree fruits and hedgerow berries and kind of wild herbs. Work very, very closely also with two local horticultural organisations, one of which we are sat in right at the moment, St Mary's Secret Garden. St Mary's Secret Garden is a kind of a bit of a horticultural urban oasis right here in the middle of Hackney. They have different volunteer groups that will kind of come each week to learn about kind of how to grow food, and also just to be able to relax in this really kind of beautiful environment. The way that 1198 works, and the way that it can only work, is entirely reverse engineered. So effectively, not to sound super pretentious, but nature completely dictates the way that the menu works. Whatever's growing now is going on the menu, and whatever's growing now will also be taken home, preserved for use on the menu later on in the year. Knowing the people that I work with very, very closely, having personal relationships with them, and knowing the produce, that whatever that produce may be, whether it's gin, whether it's honey from local beekeepers, or whether it's the plants that grow places like St Mary's here, having that really close kind of first name relationship is something that's really important. It makes you feel more human, I guess. Because obviously when you grow up in the inner city and you live in a big urban capital, it's so easy to forget how much nature there is around us. And yeah, just kind of being in nature and smelling flower blossoms and pollen in the air. It's my version of, some people kind of meditate or do yoga. For me, that's my zen, is when I'm kind of just going along foraging, minding my own business and listening to the sound of bees fluttering around and watching butterflies. Whenever I watch a bee pollinating a plant, sometimes you kind of stop there and you're just in this moment of awe and wonder where you're like, wow, this is how the cycle of life happens, and I'm witnessing it right here. Learning to work with nature is the most important thing, and to interfere as little as possible, really. Because as humans, by nature, we interfere so much. And yeah, if you just leave Mother Nature to her own devices, it will really surprise you.
I don't even know what's going on over there.
Oh, they tow in a car? Oh, shit.
Well, we can